Thank you. Thank you guys for being here. Welcome to More Up North. This is a show I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and I'm really glad that you're with us. This is a show that is basically all big union thugs. I think you've been hearing lots about them. No, I'm kidding. These are the people that actually keep you safe and make sure that the people around you that keep you safe are paid to do so. And let's see, Vince Beltrami, coming back to More Up North. You've been here a couple of times. You're the executive president of Alaska's afl-cio, and also a communist, a Marxist, a socialist, and a union thug, I understand.
Right, only if you believe Dan Fagan on a regular basis.
Who?
Are we allowed to say his name here? No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said somebody else. And Derek Schur is here, which I'm really glad he's here. Derek is the president of the Anchorage Police Department Employees Association, and you're also a police officer.
Yes, I'm a patrol supervisor.
Patrol supervisor.
It's pretty official.
Yeah.
Really, what I'm doing right now is stacking up my points in case, you know.
You just say cop.
Yeah, he's a cop. And then Tom Westcott is here, and he's president of the International Association of Firefighters, Local 1264, and what I referred to earlier on the radio as a fireman hottie. So you're here.
Well, thank you. I don't know about the second part.
Oh, you know what I mean. Okay, so I really wanted you all to come in because there is so much rhetoric out there. And from my understanding, if we keep paying union members the way that we do, we're not going to be able to afford party planners or to pay for insurance setups that aren't really contractual. I don't really know where all this money is going to. We're not going to be able to sue the EPA or investigate Mark Begich. Vince, can you talk about this a little bit? Have you heard about you? I mean, you're kind of an ass.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Well,
do your best thug face. Do it now, just like. All
right.
Yeah, see, that's scary.
Well, in general, let's just kind of frame the debate. I mean, unions have been a big part of the state since its inception. We've been a big part of building the middle class. I mean, I'm a man of faith, and I actually believe that what I do is a calling to kind of serve my fellow man. Might sound a little corny, but I really do believe that what we do is a noble thing. That we're helping stand up, for workers' rights. That we're trying to make sure people are treated right on the job. That they have fair wages and benefits. They're not taken advantage of. There's a long history of a lot of abuse that's happened over the years. And a lot of people say we're interfering with the free market. Well, I absolutely disagree, and I believe that what we are is we're claiming our fair share of the free market, if you will, by collectively getting together and bargaining for the best wages and benefits we can, making sure we're having safe working conditions and all that kind of stuff. So
well,
when I hear
free market is very expensive.
It can be, yeah. But so when I hear all this rhetoric that puts down, hardworking public servants, cops and firefighters, people who have, both of these guys who have served our country in the military, and then we get lumped in and called all kinds of bad names, called socialist and Marxist and all kinds of other crap, that it's an unfair characterization, it's mean-spirited, and there's no place for that kind of dialogue in our community. And unfortunately, the dialogue right now seems to be going more and more in that direction. You're either you're categorized either on one side or the other. Well, I would venture to say that not only myself, but these gentlemen here and a lot of the people that we represent are a lot more middle of the road than people would ever think. Some might even call themselves a conservative. I'm not sure.
Well, Derek, you're a cop.
Yep.
When you pull people over for speeding, or you're scraping up somebody on the side of the road from a drunk driving accident, or you're responding to a domestic violent situation, do you ask them if they're conservative or liberal?
Oh no.
I mean, this is.
Yeah. I think people have gotten in the habit of labeling people that way. It's really inappropriate and unfair. It was interesting to listen to Vince talk about what brought him in to lead union folks, and I find myself kind of ending up with that same calling. I've been a police officer for over 15 years, and I kind of fell into union work. I was essentially plucked off the street by my peers and elected to this position. And much like Vince, it's a sense of duty that I have to my fellow officers to do this work. So I'm always a little concerned when I have people label me or essentially call me names, which I think is unfair.
Well, I would like to see them call you those names when you have your gun on. Now, I know you wouldn't be inappropriate with all that, but I really have a hard time understanding the fight against unions or the idea of unions, that you're helping working families and you're building this middle class, because to me that is a family value. The less people have to stress about if they have insurance or if they have a retirement or if they have a living wage, the more they're not having the bickering. I'm sure that the divorce rates are lower when you have stability in your income and security in your job. So to me, it's a family value, and you don't have to be in a union to have that family value, but obviously that's part of it. So you're really a fireman.
I really am, yes. We work at the fire department 56 hours a week, and then all of our union officers, it's kind of the side job or the additional duty. And just to echo, like these two said, I think maybe one of the greatest honors in our, local, and I know these guys feel the same way, but it's to serve those that serve. The firefighters in the union, the mechanics, whoever it is in the union, they don't go out there and beat the door down, and it's an honor to be able to go and represent and say, look at the work these people are doing, and they deserve, a good paycheck, and they deserve good benefits so they can go home and, have some downtime with their family and enjoy life.
Well, absolutely. I know that, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a couple of the haughty firemen that showed up at my house from Firehouse 7. Yes, they came in, they saved me. They really did a couple years ago, which is probably another reason Dan Fagan's going to hate you guys now, because you saved my life. Whatever. But I sort of have this feeling, and I have this feeling about a lot of different jobs, that it is a calling, but that the things that you're showing up to, whether it's gas poisoning in someone's home, or there's an actual fire, all of these things, and you're dealing with people who have been devastated. You're dealing with some people who have lost part of their family in these homes, or there's one person left, or whatever, and you're having to make these connections with people that you didn't ever want to meet them, really. I don't know that we can actually negotiate pay high enough to make people give as much care to their job as certainly firefighters or the Anchorage Police Department or any police department. You're showing up at places that are really dangerous, and I'm not just talking about the Diamond Mall.
We appreciate that.
So I mean, how do you are both in charge of, and you probably do some of this too, I understand, negotiating wages. How do you say, I will go into a burning building if you pay me this amount? I would be like, it'll have to be $1 million.
Shannyn, I think, I'm not going to speak for fire, I'll let Tom answer that. I think most of the folks that come into police work initially don't contemplate the wage or the benefits as much as they do later in the career. I think folks come into police service out of a sense of duty. They want to have recognition from their family and friends in the community for the work that they do, and it's a big part of it. And I hate to make it sound kind of juvenile, but I want my mommy to be proud of me is one of the big motivators. Later, as the career develops, and it takes a toll on your family working at night and shift, and it takes a toll on your body, then wages and benefits become very important. And you mentioned the psychological toll of the work. That's a huge and unfortunate factor that's normally not talked about, because it's maybe an embarrassment, something that people try to put aside, but that factors into our need for a good retirement and pension system at the end of the career as well. And health care as well. Oh, yes. I mean, absolutely. Can you speak to that? Because I'm sure you've had to respond to things that are just, you don't ever really walk away from. There was a quote back on one of the blogs after, Sergeant Allen had been shot, and then we had a firefighter injured diving in a window in Mountain View on a rescue. And I know the individual who made it was an old fireman. He's been gone for a while now, and he said that Chief John Franklin had told his class when he first got hired that you might earn your whole career's pay, all your career's pay in one night on one call. You don't know what's going to happen. So, in all these jobs, can you put, a price, for Sergeant Allen of what he went through? I just don't think you can. But when we go into negotiations, we look at comparables, and it's kind of funny because, the new administration came out and negotiated a contract, and it had some pretty good bumps in it for some individuals, and they came out and they said, well, in order
to attract the right people and you know, compete with the private sector, we have to offer this money, which is the same thing that happened, you know, a few months ago, and it was like, well, what about all the rhetoric over there? And now you're doing the same thing. So, you know, we look at the comparables. Anchorage, you know, we're well compensated. Are we the highest in the country? No, absolutely not. You know, or the West Coast, if you look up and down, the Seattles and the Tacomas and the Everetts and the Spokanes, you know, there's places that make a lot more money. But we're doing okay. I guess the distortion